Okay, let's go. You guys have noticed the flag blowing there in the background. Got the windows open. It's cool outside. It's 69 degrees right now, right this very second. It's a beautiful August day. We had a record low last night. And yeah, I see the chat already. We've got now Matthew Caldwell is leaving. So that's three at the executive level that have left. And yeah. So I remember having a conversation with Matthew Caldwell the first year of this channel, the first month of the channel, really, month and a half. Yeah, they sort of set the tone for the fact that they'll never answer my emails, which I have been sending them emails to try to get access to a couple people. And either every email I send to a Panthers address goes to the junk box, or I am on the do not reply list. So either way, they did not call me to fill Caldwell's spot. And how are we doing? So let's blow up the chat. Hungry, how we doing? Yep. Colin, Simon. Yeah, they already promoted two people that are doing the right. Jameson, how we doing? Yeah, either way, we trust Zito. As long as Zito and Viola, as long as that remains good, nobody can have Zito. So Caldwell, interestingly enough, wanted to go to the NBA in Minnesota. I guess it's a better opportunity. So, I mean, who knows how the intricacies of those things work out, right? It's easy for me to sit here and say, if I had his job, I would ever want to leave. But people have different ambitions. So good luck for him, or to him, I should say. Yeah, 3 people leaving the organization is the true cup tax, right? Where did Thornton go? Yeah, Sifu was still in the shadow realm, yeah. Simon, I am not going, and this is not personal to you, Simon, but I will not speak of that subject at all. Any videos I see about that subject, I'm ignoring. I will not utter the words. Cade, yeah, and Zito and Viola we trust. Yep. So we're getting there. All right. Was that it? Was that long enough? Did training camp start yet? Have we talked enough for training camp to start yet? It was we've been here 5 minutes. Well, actually 3, because I was a little bit late as usual. So can camp start now? What about now? No, not yet. Like I said, it's 69 degrees. We were 57 degrees here last night. And I'm working on another video, the long one like I did the last week. I'm working on the second one. Been working on it heavy today. So I would expect, what's today? Wednesday? I might have it out. Will I have it out for? It's possible I could have it out for Labor Day now that I have a little bit of a workflow established. I'm trying to get one out every week. And how's the gym? How's the fishing? I did get to the gym yesterday. Have not been fishing. I tend to not take the time to go fishing when I have money concerns. I don't feel right taking the time off to go. So, but that's just me. And sometimes the work is just better for my frame of mind. And plus the river is full of grass anyway. There's no fish this year. Pissed me off. Hungry, yeah. Last week's video is actually still getting views. The video did exactly what I wanted it to do. I mean, I wouldn't have minded 100,000 views, but you get the point. The algorithm definitely treated it differently. It's still giving it impressions. Gained 14 subscribers, might be a few more by now. So I would consider it proof of concept. especially considering the time of the year. So I'm happy with how that whole thing went. And here we go, Chris. 3-peat overtime, Game 7, Kings, Corey Perry. I mean, can you imagine a Game 7? Did you say 3? Okay, in one overtime. Can it just is this one overtime, Chris? Like, I don't know if my heart can take it. An overtime Game 7 Stanley Cup. We almost got one, right? I mean, the first year, Edmonton was this close. Was this teeny tiny close away from getting that game to overtime. 4 overtimes. Somebody ban Chris. Do I have a wrench in here? Hungry. Yeah, you got it. I know there's a few of you that are waiting for responses on emails from me. I will. I'm going to get there. It's just I've been writing script and my creative juices have been flowing, so I've kind of been in that zone the last couple of days. So Terrace wants to know a random question: what other non-sports YouTube content do I consume? Travel, food vloggers, history. None of the above. None of the above. I like the body cams. The body cams are good because they're like 10 to 12 minutes and it's a whole story. I can sit down, eat my lunch, and it's nice and concise. You see the beginning, the middle, the end. There's an ending, you know what I mean? You know what happens to the people most of the time. And you don't have to binge watch it or have to wait, weeks to see the second part or something. I like to watch that. And then a lot of times it's just I don't have like a go-to. Like there's nobody that when I go to YouTube, I go find their channel with the exception of Dudley Durong because YouTube doesn't show me his stuff. I have to go to the football channel and check because I want the Dolphins updates. But there's nobody that I consistently will go to. So my algorithm is kind of screwy that way. Vincent, what happened? Matthew Caldwell left, and I'm the new CEO. I'm gonna get to work from home. So they hired me to be the new CEO. They said I can still continue to do the channel. They're not going to pay me because that pretty much makes sense. Not going to pay me, but they gave me the job. So I can guarantee you that Kachuk won't be playing again until the first playoff game of the season. Cade, yeah, the Game 7 took 10 years off your life, right? Right? Oh, good question, Simon, about what my favorite line for the Panthers are going to be this year. If it works out, I'm sure it will be Bennett, Rodriguez, and Samoskevich. I'm sure that line, and then we'll see what happens to it when Kachuk comes back. Chris says, jokes aside, I expect LA to improve quite a bit this season. I think they're a strong contender out of the West next year. Sure. I don't disagree with you. I haven't gotten to the NHL season previews. I'm working on the NFL stuff this week. They got to beat Edmonton. They got to beat Edmonton. And barring some kind of unforeseen circumstances, Edmonton's going to be rolling with Skinner and Picard. There's not a whole lot out there for them to even, they would have to be willing to give up some assets and make a real trade. Petraro, yeah, I saw that. They needed to sign a kicker, right? It's a shame about Sanders. Hunger, yeah, like police body cams. Yeah. Craig, yeah, there are a few fishing people I watch. I don't get a lot. It's weird. The algorithm, honestly, I can understand how channels like mine haven't grown because there's been there's a couple fishing channels. Like at one point in time, I was watching everything that they put out, and then they just stopped showing me the videos. Like this one guy that fishes the areas in Blackwater Refuge, which is not that far from here, maybe a couple hours from here. And he was catching snakeheads. And I was watching his videos 2-3 times a week. And then one day he's still making the videos, but then the algorithm just stopped showing me his stuff. And since my habit is not to hunt out stuff, I'll just watch what they bring me. So I can see how some channels don't grow that fast, because I used to watch his videos all the way through, and I'm subscribed, and they just stopped showing me his stuff. Vincent, yeah, no, we're good. We're good. We're good. I mean, they watch half the videos for their ideas anyway. Jameson, build the lineup of the best Panther players to only play one season with the team. Now, that's an interesting one. Yeah, I could do that. Jameson, that's a good idea. I made a team a couple years ago of just ex-Panthers. Right? I made a team of ex-Panthers, but that's actually pretty good. Players that played just one season with the team. That would be interesting. I believe Tim Thomas only had that one cup of coffee with us, right? Was he only with us for that one season? Because that's the first goalie that comes to mind. Matt Caldwell to Minnesota, NBA too. Ungy says Bowen betting his job on Skinner is wild. I know, but there's nobody out there. There's really nobody out there. We talked about it a lot during free agency. They'd have to pull off a trade, and then they'd have to give up. They'd have to give up a decent player for some. In Toronto, like there's only so many teams out there that have two viable starters, and Toronto's not going to help Edmonton. Like, I'm sure Edmonton would be like, "Hey, Stolars," but screw you. They're not going to. Toronto's not helping the Oilers. Don't forget to put Barnes on that list. He was with us for 2 seasons, though. He was with us for the run and then the beginning of the next year. Simon, what's my favorite part of the NHL schedule for the Panthers this year? The lack of road back-to-backs. There's not nearly the amount of road back-to-backs as there was the year before. Yeah, less than a season, right? Silva says, day one, Barkov, I think he's going to score 23 goals, 42 assists for 65 points. He'll be out with an injury for a total of 12 games, 10 being in a row in November, the other 2 in February. Pretty specific. Yeah, Petrarch. Yeah, I saw that about Greer saying the Dolphins are going to sign more players later today. The bottom of the roster on a team like ours is always going to be churned up. And I see that they released the TNT and ESPN TV schedule for the season. No, I gotta call YouTube TV. I think not this afternoon, maybe tomorrow. I gotta take care of that. I keep forgetting to call. Silva says it's late August. We got nothing else to talk about than strangely specific player predictions. That's a good point. Who gets more goals on that line? Samoskevich or Rodriguez? Like, which one of those players, since Tkachuk is out, who's the one that benefits the most? Does Rodriguez break out, or does Samoskevich end up with 30 goals? Because, he's the one with the best shot. Well, not the best shot on that line, but, because you got Bennett. I don't know. Samoskevich's shot's pretty good. Really curious to see how he is in his second year. Hey, thank you, Eyes. Thank you, bud. He says, breaking. Florida Panthers announced Jaws has been hired as the new president and chief executive officer, replacing Matt Caldwell. What's my first move? What's my first move? My first move is locking Kachuk in a room somewhere to only rehab. Just give him everything he needs to rehab. Like build a solitary confinement rehab facility and lock him in there with everything he needs. The doctors can come and go and all of that, but he's not allowed to leave until 2 weeks before the playoffs start so he can start getting ready to play. That's my first move. Great White says, did I see a sailing dogfish? No. Sailfin dog? No, I didn't see that. I'll have to look for that, Great White. Silva. Oh, geez, man. Hope everything okay. Hope everything is okay. Yeah, man, absolutely. She'll be fine. She'll be good. Is everything okay? Is it anything overly concerning? Hungy says, I can see Sam go for 25-30 with 55 points this season. It's going to be convenient for him to be more likely in the top 6 without Kachuk in a contract year. Kate says, if Kachuk plays at all during the season, suspend him until the playoffs. Yeah. Conduct detrimental to the team. That's what we'll do. That's my first move. If he comes back before the playoffs, he gets suspended for conduct detrimental to the team. It says Jaws is going to Siberia. There's no way this deal crumbles now. We're almost there. Well, what do I get in the deal? I mean, if you're sending me to Siberia, do I have a nice, cozy house that's going to stay warm? Can you guarantee me internet and satellite service? And as long as my bills are taken care of and I can have dogs and bring Donna and Kyle with me, I'll go. You want to lock me up in Siberia? I'm good. I don't need to leave the house. I've lived plenty of lives. I don't need to leave the house. So, I mean, seriously, I'm good, Vincent. Just set it up. Lump the size of a baseball grew under her leg, and she hasn't been able to walk, so she should be fine, but she's 12, going into surgery. Still has me scared for her. So Silva, Ellie had the same type of thing. She had a tumor that grew like on her stomach. And at first it started off like a little thing. Then it was the size of a thumb. And then it just kept getting bigger and bigger. And I would bring her to the vet. And they said, as long as it doesn't get infected, because they didn't think it was cancer, they said, just don't mess with it unless it really bothers her. And then, of course, right around actually the age 11 and a half, 12, it got infected. And took her to the vet. They took it off. And, she lived almost another 2 years after that. Everything healed up, was just fine. I had the same concern. I was like, she was like 11 and a half, almost 12. I was a little bit worried, but no problem. She got right through it. 80 says, rumor has it the Panthers are in line to win a third cup. It's going to be one hell of a season, that's for sure. Hey, David. Yeah, Chucky's wife cuts him off if he touches the ice rink. Andre says, have I been to Siberia? All those are luxuries over there. I mean, I'm good. I'll go. So how is Kyle? No, Kyle and I will not. My goal is on neither channel. I am not going to speak at all about the thing that Eyes just asked me about. I refuse. I absolutely refuse. I'm not going to say the names. I don't care if they get married at a Dolphins game. I'm going to ignore it as though it's not happening. I just can't do it. Rather than bitch and constantly complain about it, I think the better tactic for me to just take is I'm just going to ignore it. I'm not going to speak about it at all. That's the last words I'll say about it. So if anybody sees somebody asking about it in the chat and you see me ignoring that comment, then feel free to let them know why I'm ignoring that comment. David. David, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, man. Yeah, good point. Yeah, Schmidt had a hell of a cup of coffee with us. Yeah. Yeah, Nate Schmidt would count for Panthers. They did well under one season. Mark Stahl, right? OEL. Hell, we've got half of a defense six right there. Stahl. Did Stahl do 1 or 2 years with us? I think Stahl was just the 1 year, right? Craig, yeah, exactly. Who? Hungry. I hear what you're saying, Hungry, but I can't sell my soul to that point. I can't do it. I can't do it. I mean, I suppose I could make a video about how much I don't care about it, but then I would still be like selling my soul for. I can't do it. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Gudis, good one, David. Yeah. Kate says, I can't hear what you're singing about anyway. I have our 2 Stanley Cup rings plugging my ear. Eyes. Thank you, buddy. Says Slips You 5. How do I feel about talking about it now? I won't say the names. I will not. That is my goal for the entire season is I'm not saying either one of their names on either channel. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. That's a goal I've set for myself. Oh, it is what it is. It's not obviously being manipulated on purpose. They wouldn't do something like that, announce it 1 week before the football season's going to start. Craig says 10K to say it. Well, I can be bought. Yeah, okay. Yeah, 6 figures. What's that, 5? That's 5. I suppose 5. Colin, yeah, I think Gudis was here for more than 1 year. I think you're right. Pretty sure you're right. Yeah. I says when Jaws makes it to 10K subs, add a 0. Add it. In fact, that'll be. Yeah. If when I make it to 100,000, then I'll talk about it. If I make it to 100,000 subs, I'll live stream the wedding. How about that? If I can make it to 100,000 subs before it actually happens, I will live stream the wedding. Because, I mean, somebody would have to buy me about 91,000 subs. Steven. Silva says, if I could pluck one Panther out of their prime with the team and put them on the 26 team, who is it going to be and which player they're replacing? They have to replace a player around their skill level. So, honestly, you're talking about this team taking another Panther in their prime and putting it on this team. I would just tell Tkachuk to take a year off and put Prime Yager in his spot. That's what I would do. I would tell Tkachuk to take a year off, heal and rest, and I would put Prime Yager right next to Bennett and Samoskevich. Hungry, the memes have been hilarious. Yeah. I says, yeah, we want real subs, not fake subs. I had a sub for my birthday. Oh, it was so good. The Italian sub or bure. You guys take prime bure? No, Steven, it was not to talk about the two people I won't talk about. Oh, not prime. Okay, the prime they were with the Panthers. Okay, so if I get to take one person off the list, off the team, so all right, I'm going to look at 4C now, right? So I would. This is a good question. Metal says Worrell for Reinhardt. Jameson says giving prime Joe Bowmeister. Cade 96 Lowry. Bure before the injuries, right? Colin Kendall guy is did we get Kendall Lamb? Colin? Has to be Bure or Luongo. Yeah, I guess, but who would we put? Metal says Vela for Petrie. Petrie, however the hell you say his name. I say it backwards each time. But what? Yeah, Bure, but I mean, what are we going to do? Sit Samoskevich for Bure? Samoskevich gets the – I mean, no, Rodriguez. Who would you want to – if you're going to put Bure on, who are you taking off, Samoskevich or Rodriguez? That seems like to be legitimate, right? So they signed Kendall Lamb. Okay, so they got a little bit of help on the offensive line. They needed it. Lamb was always serviceable with us. Hongi says 50-goal Bure, you sit Erod. Okay. Yeah, give me Bennett, Bure, and Samoskevich on that line. And good luck. Good luck catching those guys. Right? Yeah, I agree with Hungry there. I'll take that. Since I can't have prime Yager. Damn it. But this Fela for Petrie's not bad either. You know? Can we put Jovanovski in for Ekblad? Yeah, Metal says Kindle and Matheson for forcing an Ekblad. David says, funny you say that. Samuel reminds me of Bure, nowhere near the accomplished player, but some same type of game. Very aggressive, right? Very, very aggressive. Jaws, Yager, and Kachuk entered the sauna. It's a steam room now. Oh, geez. Yager stole my hair, man. When Yager came to the Panthers, I had the same hairline he did. And then I didn't. David, yeah, he's really – I saw a breakdown of prospects. I should have looked at it. But anyway, they were going over the prospect pools for each team, and the Panthers, how they're in one of the worst situations. And the guy listed Samoskevich as just an average skater. And I was wondering, like, my imagination, or is he pretty damn fast? Seemed a little bit off in the commentary. Hey, Mike, how you doing? So Bukestad for Nosek. Prime, I mean, sure. Well, Nosek has been pretty solid. I don't know if Bukestad could handle the physicality. You know what I mean? He just got hurt so often. Kate says, what games were they watching? Samuel was pretty quick. Yeah, it seemed a little bit off. It's like they had him listed as like average skater, and I was like, that don't seem right to me. Oh, you're just thinking face-offs. Yeah. Yeah, so you just get Bure. I like that. No offense, Rodriguez. In fact, you just put Bure. I mean, just Kachuk could just take the whole year off. Bennett with Bure and Sam Iskevich. Ha. I like it. So Sam Iskevich's wraparound goal carried from his own zone. Well, yep. And I saw saw a highlight yesterday when I was doing some research. You know, Sam Isevich led to the first goal of the playoffs. That first goal that we got against Tampa, that great pass to Bennett. I'm still kind of pissed off at Paul for taking him out. I still say Paul had a stick up his ass. He was desperate to take him out. Like, at least wait until we lost the game. We weren't losing to Tampa. But that's just me. I says, when does Keith Yano join the channel? Him and Ekblad are they're gonna be my co-hosts. We're gonna do a weekly show. Yeah. David, yeah, Sasha, it doesn't even look like he's skating fast because he's got such a long stride, but is fast. Hungry says, I would think that most teams that go, I just lost. Where is it? He says, I think that most teams that go back-to-back won't be able to have a good farm system, yet our affiliates have won 3 championships and got to the finals last year. Yeah, they had our affiliate ranked at like 24th. They weren't very high on a few people. Holy crap. Jesus. Great White. Thank you, brother. Jeez. Damn, Great White. Great White's going to make my hair grow back. Damn. Holy crap. Brother. Thank you, man. Holy crap. Jeez. Great White is hopefully we can get down there in January. I could shake your hand, man. You and Ron and a few others, y'all keeping this all together. Damn. Thank you, brother. Man. Vincent says Bennett scored the first goal in the playoffs and the first goal in the regular season. That's right. Yeah. I had a Yager wig, guys. I don't know what happened to it. Man, I had a Yager wig. Shit. Hold on. Let's find it. Now we got to find it. Thank you again, Great White. All right, so now I got to find it. I had a Yager wig. I like that, Mike. Hold on a second. Now I got to find it. I can't damn wig, but I had it. Just it. All right, let's search the content. Yager. Let's see. Yeah, this is when Yager said goodbye. Hold on a second. Why is this not monetized? You dummies. All right, hold on. God, the camera was so bad. So long ago. Hold on a second. I got to share the Mike. Share the screen. Yeah. This is when Yager said goodbye to the Panthers. So as many of you already know, it is true. I am no longer with the Panthers. They don't want me anymore. I say the other day, nobody wants Yager anymore. and everybody laugh and get a good giggle. But I think it's true. Maybe I'm getting too old. I don't know. I still beefcake though. Somebody will want me, but I have to say goodbye to the Panthers, and I love you to the fans, and I love you, Johnny, number 11, my buddy. I missed you last year, and now it's not going to happen. And I say thank you to Steve Goldstein, who always is nice to me and call all my record-breaking goals. And Dougie, I'm going to miss you. We have fun times at the pool parties. You're going to miss my girlfriend coming over in the bikinis. I know, Dougie, you're a funny guy like that. But I'm very sad today. And so I will have to say goodbye to my Panther fans and friends. But I still, sometimes maybe I come and visit my friend Fluffy and still do a video every once in a while. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to go. Goodbye, Panthers. No more points. So there you go. I had my Yager wig. I can't find it anymore. I can't find it anymore. Everything else I had, all the others, everything else I've worn in the skits, I have. But that one I can't find. Yeah, the CEO went to the NBA, right? Vincent. Great White. Damn, Great White. We'll have to chat, man. Thank you, brother. If I kept the wig, I'd be at 20. So I don't know what happened to it. Like every year I look for it all over again. It's got to be somewhere buried in that freaking basement of a man cave. It's got to be buried somewhere in there. Steven, I think it was something that was going on with the Panthers, like right then and there. I don't honestly remember it either. Yeah, the wig was. You know what the wig was? It was a grease wig. You know, Grease the play. It was like for one of those. Was that what it was, or was it a newscaster wig? I forget which one that was. No, the newscaster wig was short. And the blonde one I had was the Grease, whatever her name is, the woman. That one I'll just have to find another one. I just have to find another one. It is what it is. Yeah, I tripped the spirit off. Yeah. I just got so frustrated that I couldn't find it. Travolta Saturday Night Fever wig might have been. Not sure. What I need to do is just get my phone out and clean up the man cave and see if I can find it. Hey, Ethan. Good to see you, buddy. How you been? Yeah, so anyway, I had a wig before. Well, yesterday, Donna was talking about she wants to hang a coat rack next to the door downstairs. I said, we have a coat closet right here. And so I opened it and I showed it to her. And in there is like the old Sasquatch onesie and the unicorn onesie, like all the onesies that I wore and a couple of the skits. They were in there. She just kind of looked at me. I'm like, it's for a skit. Zoom says, will I do my own tier list to counteract hockey guy? I mean, I don't want to come off as like knocking him because it was his own opinion, but maybe that's not a bad idea. Not necessarily to, not to say anything bad about him. And when I first heard about it, I thought he was just saying the best. But in terms of favorite, it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. Yeah. Hold on a second. I lost the chat. That's not what I want to do. Dave says 4 prominent members of the front office called within 5 months. Yeah. I mean, I guess they're just all getting good opportunities elsewhere. It does seem like a lot. But as long as Zito's there, I think we all feel good. It says, we ditched our coach on the side of the road once. What's Gallant up to these days? He's coaching the Chinese team that plays in the KHL, the Shanghai Dragons. Yeah. That's how much he's pissed off everybody in the NHL. Didn't Keenan coach over there in the KHL at some point too? I remember watching a video of Keenan. Didn't he get like banished to the Nether Realms also? Vincent says Karen took the wig. She couldn't steal your hair while I had it. She might have got rid of it. She might have got rid of it. Yeah, Mike. So the thing that happened with that, screw it, I'll tell the story. So, because team don't answer my messages anyway. So the thing that happened with Gallant was in the Islander series. Viola wanted to come to the locker room and give the guys in one of the playoff games, give the guys a big rah-rah speech. And Gallant said, no, that's my room. And it pissed off Viola. And the first little opportunity he had, he let him go. He fired him. He didn't want to fire him during the offseason because they had just had success and all of that. But that's why it happened when it did, because the very first even minuscule opportunity that Viola was going to get to fire Gallant, that's what happened. And so Gallant was pissed. And this is the conversation I literally had with Caldwell. Gallant was pissed, and they said, well, we'll call you a car. And he didn't want nothing to do with it. He said, I'll get my own cab. And he wanted the optics. He wanted the optics of being out there at the curb getting the cab because he was so pissed at Viola for what happened. So that whole thing went down, and I tweeted about it, and I got a phone call, and everybody was cool. But to this day, I'm pretty sure, they don't answer anything I ever send to them. So I'm pretty sure I'm on the do not disturb list. It is what it is, man. Do I think we need Wilkins back? No. Dana, yeah, no, I told the story. Yeah. I sat on it long enough. David. Yeah, Mike. Yeah, I guess I was saying it. Yeah. Reminds you of when the Marlins firing Girardi after winning Manager of the Year. Yep. Yeah, he could have waited. He didn't want to wait. It was purposeful. You know what I mean? Simon, yeah, I took that wig. I wonder if my ex-wife took that wig. Because the last time I wore that wig, I was with my ex-wife at a Pirates and Wench's costume thing. And I wonder if that's where it went. Because I went as Pirate Yager. There's a video on the channel. And I think that's the last time I saw that wig. Andre says, what's the over-under for the number of new baby mamas Tyreek Hill gets this season? Oh, my God. Can he just be normal for 5 minutes? Right? David says, I'll say 4. I think he had 6 or 8 more kids. Is that real? Jeez. That's crazy. I mean, why spend your money doing that, man? It's just like you got to support all those kids. You're Tyreek Hill. It's like you're not going to be making that level of money for forever, right? Jeez. What the hell's that noise? Oh, it's just the dog coming up the stairs. Okay. Tyreek's a lot of things, but he ain't normal. He supposedly, turn over a new leaf, trying to be a new man, trying to improve and all of that. We'll see. The whole culture change thing. Am I the only one? I know not everybody are Dolphin fans as well as Panther fans, but for those of you that are both, am I the only one that hears the Dolphins talking about culture change and all of that and think that they're just trying to pretend to emulate what the Panthers have done? Like I was watching somebody's video and they're like talking about how there's been a culture change and now they like go fishing together and they do things together. And it's like, man, this sounds like somebody's just trying to copy what Florida's doing. Dana, yeah, the pirate thing. Yeah, I think that's the last time I saw that wig. I'm pretty sure. The Marlins are saying the same thing too. Jeez. The Marlins culture is every time they get a good player, they give them. They didn't trade him all the way this year. Greg says completely manufactured culture. Right. Yeah, you can't like, I mean, you can change the culture, but you have to have a change of leadership. Like, Viola came in and then Zito came in and then Maurice and Kachuk, and there was a whole changing of everything. The Dolphins got the same people. Kenneth says the all Tyreek Hill's children's football team. Like, oh, man. Yeah, just wait about 20 years, right? They can have a pretty good team. Jeez. It never crossed my mind to just go around making babies like that. David says, I'm a Finns fan, but I sadly think we should tear it all down and start over. To it now when our 3 or 4 decent players will get his picks, new coach, GM, all of it. It has to be with the new coach and the GM. It has to be. Because this GM already had that rebuild. He already had all the draft capital and all of that stuff. Craig says that team would be horrible. Zero impulse control, right? They'd all get ejected the first game. Steven, you can't wait that long? I got news for you, buddy. I'm sorry. I got bad news for you. You see all this white? I mean, Kyle's 26. And the last time we won a playoff game, he was a baby. Is what it is, man. It's just been ineptitude for so many years. We just come to expect it. I wouldn't say accept it anymore. But hey, look, you got to have a change. I mean, look at what happened with the Panthers. Like, it was wiffle-waffly. Every year on Twitter, it's like, hey, man, the Panthers going to move. We're hearing rumors, blah, blah, blah. And, Viola and Sifu came in, and they kind of pissed some people off there those first few years, myself included. I wasn't happy with the trades and the direction that they took things at first. But obviously now it's paid off. And I just hope that we get to keep Zito around for a long enough time for that. When this core dips, that's going to be really interesting to see what if the plan is to just burn this core out and then rebuild, or if it's going to be like a slower type of, one guy at a time, kind of like with Boston. Great White says, Jaws, what is Dolphins football and will they make a Super Bowl? So Dolphins football is honestly, I used to think the Dolphins were the Leafs and the Leafs were the Dolphins, but I don't think so anymore because obviously the Dolphins have not been as good as Toronto's been the last few years. And so I think Dolphin fans have kind of figured out that, hey, we suck. We're not good. Like Leaf fans the last few years have thought this is our year, where Dolphin fans have not really felt that way. So I can't really think of a good analogy. And in terms of them ever making the Super Bowl, I mean, I suppose if Kansas City fell off a cliff and then Buffalo and Baltimore played each other in the first round because the Patriots won the division and the Dolphins were a wild, like if you could avoid two of Baltimore, Buffalo, and Kansas City and get through the AFC playoffs, that would be like a miracle run. They'd probably still find a way to screw that up. Hey, Matthew. David says, I believe Cats have 2 to 4 more cups coming with this team. Boy, will that be something. I think they can pull off what Edmonton did with the 5. It was 5, right? Kazuma says, ever since you added Panthers hockey to the name, I keep getting recommended videos from 2 years ago, so I guess it worked. Yeah, that one video I put out is helping too. Sure. But thank you for letting me know. Yeah. Mike says, as a Dolphins fan, if the Panthers weren't your team, you wouldn't know happiness at all. Yep. Kenneth says, Zito will retire when he wins GM of the year, so we'll save. Right? What does the dude need to do? Yeah. It's just obvious at this point. Jeez. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Krabs. Yeah. Matthew says, Greer sucks when he's been decent the last couple of years. He hasn't made us worse. He still has a tendency to hang on to some of his draft picks a little bit too long. Greg says, most of us will be worm food by the time the Finns win the Super Bowl. You're 58. Yeah. I'll be shark food. I'll be shark food. Steven, what were you saying about I missed what you said. I'm scrolling up. Yeah, I mean, the cornerback depth is a little bit better. Yeah, I don't blame you there, Matthew. Krabs says, don't be the Lightning where fatigue gets to them and the window for another cup is closing. I mean, they did try to make the right decision with letting Stamkos go and inserting Gensel. I still think they're wearing Vasilevsky out. He's played a lot of hockey. He had that surgery. And I wrote that article and if you look at the last 3 seasons, his numbers in the playoffs are bad. Like if he was any other goalie, they would not be sticking with him the way he's been playing in the playoffs. And I'm not saying it's all his fault, But when Tampa was winning, he was a brick wall. He was a big part of why they won. And his numbers this last 3 years, I know he keeps running into the Panthers, but he's not been good in the postseason. Bills re-signed Jordan Poyer. That's funny. Kenny says, I tend to draw similarities from the Leafs to the Cowboys. Yeah. Do I want to be buried in Hollywood Beach? No. I want to be cremated. I want to be baked into cookies that are fish food. So you catch a fish, and then you feed that fish to the shark. And then that way, in my next lifetime, I've already been eaten by a shark, and I can surf in peace. Yeah. I'm not kidding about that either. I've been saying that for 20 years. Oh, an old Canes fan. Boy, growing up in the 80s being a Canes fan, that was fun. Yeah, they paid Johansson. He's got a 2-year deal, Jonas Johansson. They play Vasilevsky so much. I don't understand why they haven't figured that part out yet. Ray White says Panthers are the greatest Florida team. Do I agree? Man, yes and no. As much as I love this team, if this Panthers team faced the prime Lightning team with prime Vasilevsky, that's tough. If you go back and look at Vasilevsky's numbers the year that they won in the playoffs, his goals against was below 2. And in the playoff run, I mean, that's just absurd. And you've seen what happened to us, especially the year that we got swept. I don't know. That'd be a tough call. Those games were so physical back then that if it was prime Florida versus prime Tampa, maybe we survived, but they might have made it so that we didn't make it through the rest of the playoffs. That was a big reason why I didn't want to play them anymore in the playoffs, because remember, was it the sweep or the 6-game series? It was just like they were killing each other out there. Your mom wants her ashes put in Fort Lauderdale Beach. Mike. They traded corner Julius Brents for a 2nd-round pick. Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, Kyle's going to be live at 3. Yeah, the Canes have the 6 championships. Yeah. Kyle will be live at 3 for all the football discussions. So, what are we? All right. Kazuma says if the Cats get a 3-peat, would that surpass the Dolphins' undefeated season to become the best team? Yes. Yeah. I would have to say I would agree with that. No NHL team has won 3 straight in the salary cap era. And, nobody's going 82-0. You know what I mean? There's not going to be any undefeated hockey teams or basketball teams or baseball teams. Like football's the only sport that you can even have a chance at that stat line. So I think, if they 3-peat, I would think so. Jason says, remember both years the Lightning won recently, they didn't play more than a 62-game regular season. That's true. That's true. They had a lot more juice in the bank to play physical like that. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Kenneth. Yep. Right. All right, everybody. I got to roll. Got to get the eBay work done. Kyle will be live at 3. And I'm still working on I'm working on the big long video, and I'm still working on some smaller stuff. Panthers went 82-0 in your EA Sports video hockey. I bet, right? Yeah. Geez, I haven't played sports on a video game in years. That would be fun. Maybe that's what I should do. It's just Old Man Plays Video Games YouTube channel. Old Blind Man. Old blind man with vertigo plays video games for the first times in 30 years. That's actually probably a pretty good idea. That'll be how that'll work. All right, everybody. Thank you all. Appreciate all the love and support. Kyle will see you in a couple of hours. And unless we trade Rodriguez for Bure like we did already, I shall see you mañana.